Okay, I do this all the time. I start talking and I think I'm gonna make my YouTube one, and then I start noticing like, oh, this is 3 minutes. I should just put this on TikTok. So there's a lot of like ones, and then when I start talking, I forget, like, did I already talk about that? Oh, that's the life of a brain injury. You know, I'm so glad that I've gotten to this point in my life where I can accept it. It was very shameful for a long time. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed about having a brain injury for a long time. I was very super sensitive, like that I'd lost so many words. I would say words wrong and, you know, forget. Plus, when you forget conversations, you forget whole days and stuff like that, it starts feeling very manipulated when people tell you, like, oh, this is what happened and this is what you said and stuff. When you can't even relate to it, you can't remember, it feels very manipulated. You know, there's a lot to deal with. You know, it even shows that in the scary movies where it shows, like, somebody goes and gets in a wreck or whatever and they get a brain injury. And you know, people do start tricking them. And that's what they're always showing. And that's how it feels. And is that part of the programming? Because how many movies did I even see before that were about a brain injury? I don't think I ever watched any, really, until I had gotten one. And then it was more like, huh, so let's see what they say. Like, how accurate is this? And it is accurate on the part where, you know, if you don't know what happened in a certain thing, it's easy for someone to tell you and to veer it the way they want. You know, they can turn you into a monster if they want. If you don't have your own inner knowing of who you are, it's real easy to get somebody to feel crazy. So anyways, there's a lot to having a brain injury. I'm glad I got to this point now where I'm like, I don't feel affected like I used to feel. And, but it's a lot of growth, you know, to get to this point. And, you know, this is the thing too, is I think that so many people, the reason that they have so many problems trying to understand this world is because of all the programming and because being told, like, their brains are being manipulated. It is this mass mind control that is going on through programming, indoctrination by these controllers who have controlled this universe, this planet, and this reality for so long. And they're losing now. Like, this is the big switch over. This is where human beings get to be free from this enslavement that was meant to control them, but they were always meant to grow out of it, to begin to question their reality. And that's why it's like a graduation to get to this point, because that is the ascension, the yearning for enlightenment. Because in the beginning, when the other beings were around us and coming to the planet and helping us, and you know, we were learning and we were very spiritual, then they had to leave. They had to give us an opportunity to learn for ourselves. Well, the ones that stayed back became very controlling. They are the kind that like to go out and dominate other planets, like the Draconians and stuff. There's so many different aliens that are involved with what is going on here, but it's because they aren't, like, people think like, oh, they're alien, they're separate from us. No, they are a part of us, just like we're a part of them. We are all souls. Like, when we are in dead life, wherever, you know, when you transition out of this life, you would go and be around all of these other souls that are going and incarnating in all these places. They don't go to a separate place. We all go to the same place. It just depends on where you resonate, where you vibrate, and that's how high you can go in that idea of dimension. If you think about it, like if you think about it, like music, right? I don't even know if this makes sense, but it's being shown to me in my head. But, like, you know, when you read music, it has those lines, right, that go, and it has the different notes, right? And so some notes have to be higher and some lower. Well, if you are down in the lower notes, until you learn how to be in the higher notes, you are stuck in the lower notes. So you don't get to just go up without learning. So you have to ascend, you have to become enlightened, you have to move up in your vibration. In resonance is you begin to understand things on another level. You can see it more clearly. How many things can somebody talk about and you have no idea what they're talking about? And then once you learn about it, then they could tell you, and then you understand, you comprehend it in a completely different way. Well, that's what's going on. It's like a lot of people don't have the ability to understand what they don't understand yet. There's steps to understanding. And, you know, that's why, like, the stuff I talk about, I know I'm only talking to a certain group of people that have gotten to that point in their understanding to be able to be at that level. You know, people who are at this lower level, everything is going to sound crazy. Everything's going to sound like ridiculous to them because they haven't seen the truth yet. They're still in limiting beliefs. They're still in a limitation mindset, and they hold themselves back. You know, it's one's own consciousness that restricts the information. It's because they don't feel safe. They feel vulnerable because you're talking about consciousness, your essence, your soul, who and what you really are. That is, you know, just because you say you die and you go, you know, people think, oh, you just go up, you know, in heaven and everybody's equal. And that's not it at all. You will go up to where it is that you resonate, where you vibrate. You would go to your highest place. And then, you know, it depends on, there's so much open in dead world, you know, of incarnating in different places and staying in dead life and that whole existence and what you create for yourself. And, you know, at certain levels that you have done so many lives and stuff, you come back and start sharing your knowledge. And like, that's what I'm doing. Like, I've already ascended. I've already come back. That's why I say, like, this is like a spacesuit to me. Like, I've come back from somewhere else to come and bring information. This happens all the time throughout existence. There's constantly souls coming in to bring information, to change the current, to help people develop a deeper understanding of this reality. And it comes in little bites, little sections or whatever. And certain people will understand it. And then sometimes it's just planting a seed. And then your understanding comes later when the seeds have been watered, when something begins to sprout, when you start to have more understanding. But it takes a lot of different things to create that. And so that's why there's so many different people right now who are talking about things. And it's all different. It's like so much information that is all coming in, and they're all approaching it in these different ways. Like, you know, like the Star of David or something, you know, like, and they're all at the points coming together with this information. But it's all the same information. It just is coming together from different ways. So there's, I find different people's approaches so fascinating. I love hearing, you know, and I see how it is all working together. And that's why there's so many souls that have come back right now, because this is a cosmic thing that is happening, this ascension for the planet and for the beings. And this is a huge graduation for human beings to get to this point. I mean, humanity has been wiped out and restructured a couple of times. And so this, you know, to get to this point in their own development, to begin to understand themselves as a soul and to understand this world and this universe, this galaxy, like the whole existence, it is, you know, and it's just getting started for some people, you know, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting to go from a world where you are told about death and it's permanent, and this control and all the things you have to do to get there. Like, there was so much stuff that made no sense. And it's no wonder there were so many people going crazy, and so many people on drugs, and so many people drunk, and so many people just looking for any kind of connection, and, you know, empty sexual relationships and stuff like that. Never feeling that fulfillment. But the fulfillment was always inside. It was just hidden from you. And they even did things like use fluoride and stuff like that to try and shut down parts of us. They thought that they could keep us, ignorant, to keep us from understanding who and what we were. But, you know, that's the hand of God. That is this universal action that is happening. And that's why all other beings are involved. They are talking to you all the time. They're giving you information, especially if you're a seeker. If you're seeking the truth, if you're looking for the truth, they're there to talk to you and to help you. And, you know, you start asking the questions, they'll show you in many different ways. But you have to be open. You have to keep yourself open to understanding that this world is magic. This world is not this three-dimensional existence that has been sold to you as being real and the only existence there is. That has all been, you know, lies and manipulation. It's to such a degree that it is, it's mind-boggling. Like, you know, I just, when I was a kid, you know, they were talking to me ever since I was a kid. And I knew, I mean, I know you get the veil over you. And, you know, my soul obviously had told them, okay, well, just, and who knows when. I mean, they were probably talking to me the whole time. But it was that one situation that I remembered so clearly of understanding I was actually having a conversation with someone outside of myself. Once I started having the conversation, then they could, you know, once I could identify them as separate than me, then they could start having conversations with me all the time and showing me things and helping me to understand what this world was. But it still had to go through, you know, it was like the domino game, you know, where all of them have to hit, but they all had to still go, but it was very slow. Then, you know, like there was a lot of things that I didn't understand. Like, you know, I couldn't understand the whole thing about religion and how people thought aliens were, that was not real, and they were so consumed with this world, and how they didn't, like, things that they were being told didn't make any sense. And the manipulation was like behind science, and oh my gosh, it's just so much, you know, the whole thing with keeping people divided. And I mean, you really start seeing the generational divide as you get older. Like, you don't recognize it when you're younger, but as you get older, and you especially seeing it play out over generation after generation, and how they do it, and how manipulative to keep families divided like that, you know? It's, but they don't care. Like, you gotta realize these people are, they are like the oldest, kind of paganistic kind of, you know, they still go with the sacrifice and the worship, you know, like still, you know, white blood all over them, and eating someone's essence to get your energy and stuff. Like, they're barbaric, but they also understand that a soul, just because they take someone's life, that soul just goes and bounces and goes and gets in another incarnation, or, you know, goes somewhere else. They understand that if a soul comes in, that you already write your story. You've already formulated what's going to go on. You are just playing it out. So, you know, all these ones that are willing to be sacrificed and, you know, be used and abused and stuff, it's hard to wrap your head around. But, you know, it is also, look at how much it is waking people up to know how these horrible things that have gone on. So a lot of souls do it for that reason. You know, like a little kid, like a little 3-year-old kid, You can come in, die when they're 3 years old of cancer. You're like, that makes no sense. Why? Their life had just gotten started. But that 3-year-old dying, it changed, it could have changed everything for medical, and it completely brought a whole new, well, not in this existence. This is so manipulated, but it would still have an impact on the people around them, because this is about growth. This is about expansion, and that's why you incarnate, is to go through an experience so you learn the different, how things affect you. And how things affect you depends on the role you play. And so you have to go through and play all the different roles. That's why it takes such a long time in soul cycles to go through, just to understand one concept from how many different perspectives. Like, that is what life is all about. And that is where you're, it's all about the soul. Right now, they just got everybody trapped in their mind about this avatar, this existence right here, right now, that is completely manipulated. And that's why, I say it, but if you can step back, you can start coming at life from your soul. You start understanding everything on a soul level. You'll start seeing the world in a much, much different way. And things will start making so much more sense. But you have to, put aside your limiting beliefs. You have to be able to think outside of the box, because in the box it's all about control and manipulation and dishonesty, and it's all been to control you, because they have free energy. As long as they control you, they are able to live off of our hard work, and they're able to benefit while we all suffer and struggle. So it's when you start questioning, but don't get just caught up in focusing on, oh, it's so unfair, and oh, what they've done to us and stuff. Let it go. When you start getting on into the soul, and you made your choice and free will and everything, just let it go for now, until you get a deeper understanding of your soul and what, the whole existence about being here. And then, come at it for now, just let go of pain and suffering. Let go of the control. Don't give it any more time. Get in touch with your own self. Get in touch with this mind, body, spirit. It's the real Trinity. It is the mind, body, and spirit. And then when you start becoming in your body, in your mind, and your spirit all starts connecting, the communication. Your body will tell you what it needs. Your spirit will give you direction. And your mind is a receiver, like I said. So be open to the messages. Start asking the questions, but be open to the answers. And you will start, it will take you in places where you will just feel relief. You will feel like you understand things. Like, I think so many people, they went along with the program because they didn't want to be outcasted. They didn't want to be made fun of. And it was hard, to be bullied and stuff like that, over stuff that you knew was true. And it was like, well, why would people be so mean about this? Like, the people would laugh at you, make fun of you, stop being friends with you, call you crazy and stuff like that. So, once you can get bypass that kind of thing, and you start opening yourself up to information, and you don't worry about people laughing at you, making fun of you, the information that you start to receive starts making sense. You start feeling peace. You start really getting the idea, like, oh, I get it. I understand. And because your soul knows. It is the ego that is blocking you, because the ego is being manipulated. They've got, such control in this world. That's why it's so dominated with narcissism and perversion and distraction and victimization. And so it's all about healing that stuff. It's about release. It's about humbling your ego It's about looking at yourself and seeing that you aren't so perfect like you think, and accepting that, you know, be like, okay, yeah, I'm not perfect. God, I'm kind of an idiot. Oh my God, I'm kind of stupid. I'm kind of illogical, like, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just the level of your soul. And you go a level up when you begin to accept that part of yourself and love that part of yourself. Then you level up. Then you start being able to love it in everybody else, because nobody needs to be perfect. You know, they were trying to sell you a template of who and what you needed to be because it was good for them. But being unique, being authentic, and knowing your true self, that benefits you. So, like I always say, work on you, and, you know, let go of this. Let go of the stuff. Like, it's going, any of the stuff that you're holding on to in this three-dimensional world, as it's ending, is going to feel like something's being ripped away from you. The more you release and just keep releasing and don't hold on to this fake world, then the more it will not cause you pain and suffering. And the more in touch with your own self, and the more you heal and grow during this transition, the more peace you will find, and the more joy. While other people are suffering and scared and not understanding what's going on, you will feel at peace. You will feel like you completely understand. You don't have to know all things, and you know you're eternal. You know that there's nothing to fear. So anyways, just work on you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.